Last night's episode of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days took a very interesting turn with these couples. So we're going to start off by reviewing Elise and Josh as we make our way through the other couples. Now, when it comes to Elise and Josh, this is a relationship that is already destined for disaster. It's a relationship that we can pretty much label moving mad. But there's always a little bit of hope that maybe, just maybe, this relationship can end in a position where both people are going to be reality ready to recognize their actions, to recognize why they have the issues that they have. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive into exactly what went down.
Alright, guys.
This isn't a good start. It's not a good start in any shape or form. But why? Well, Josh knows that he's not staying in this apartment by himself. He knows that he needed his friend to be there with him because he couldn't afford to pay for it on his own. And Elise also knows that this man is also living with them. But for some reason, they both had this ridiculous idea that it was going to be okay for them to literally have like a naked massage on the sofa, in the living room, in the lounge, depending on how you want to call it. I sit there and I said to myself, first and foremost, who's the real problem here? Is it Elise or is it Josh? Now, from a man's point of view, if I know another man's going to be coming into a room, I am definitely not going to have any female guest or any female person that's in my life naked in a place that they can walk into. Because one, I am disrespecting our privacy. Two, I'm showing her how much I really don't respect her that much because I don't mind if somebody else sees her naked. And then to be fair, at the same time, it also tells me everything I need to know about this woman. Because at the same time, she should also be like, wait, hold on a minute, babe. Are you sure we should be doing it here, considering that your friend may walk in? So the fact that she hasn't even objected it, hasn't even said anything, is also a problem. You see what I'm saying? But of course, if I'm a woman in this situation, how would I view this? Well, guess what, folks? I'm not a woman. So let me know. If you're in a position where you know you are staying somewhere with your male friend or whoever it is, whatever gender it is that you like, and you know that somebody else is staying there, would you forget that there's somebody else who may see you naked in your bed? Give me your thoughts, please. Because really and truly, this is nothing but a calamity.
The timing on you.
I can't believe after 6 months I had sex. I feel like I'm not a virgin anymore. Like I'm a...
Power of words. How we say things is so crucial to what we really mean. And what she's really trying to say is that normally I be sleeping around. And guess what? Because it's been that long, 6 months, whoop-de-doo, I feel like a virgin. It's like sometimes people don't pay attention to the things that's going to come out of their mouth. Honestly, I do genuinely believe that when it comes to Elise, that when she walks around in this world, this is what I believe that she sees. Nothing but a blur. It's like she sees none of these things that are actually issues. But we continue though. She does a good way of representing herself.
I've been living with Nat. She lives a lot closer to work.
So why? I feel like I'm a detective and I'm trying to like navigate this like detective puzzle because I know now we've talked on the phone a few times, but living together, I think they're...
The worst thing about this whole situation is the fact that he finally reveals that he's not living with his parents and that he's living with another woman is that, isn't it funny how he just couldn't tell her this before they had intimacy? He just had to tell her this after they slept together. Literally after they slept together. Timing is key, just like the power of words is key. Now, if I'm Elise in this situation, I'm not going to continue this relationship with my eyes closed. I'm going to continue this relationship with myself being blurred. I'm going to be more alert than ever because I'm going to ask the question, why did you think it was okay for me to fly all the way from America? Take those hours of sit on a plane for that long, have a connecting flight that was whatever. For me to come in here and for you to tell me after we sleep together, hey, guess what? I don't live with my parents. I live with my female friend. Now, should it be an issue that he lives with a female friends? I guess that is subjective, dependent on the viewer and dependent on how you see things. But because he's kept it a secret and he didn't tell the full truth, that is what makes it an issue. And that is not subjective. So really and truly, he has now dug himself a hole. But let's continue.
Relationship's a little weird. If it's
So my partner and, I really want you guys to get along because it's important for me.
well, you must feel some sort of way because you didn't tell me you lived with her.
It's important for him. What about what was important for the relationship? See, there's a fine line between saying something that's important for you compared to what's important for your relationship. See, what would have been important for your relationship was that you kept it 100, but he didn't do that. So what's important for you now doesn't matter. What matters now is how to make this situation work, if it's salvageable.
There's a lot to unfold. I don't think that guys and girls can be friends without hooking up. I've tried that. It's never succeeded.
Oh, no, I have so many guys.
And this is probably Australia. It's probably a little bit too cultural. It's a bit more like that. We're a bit more easier.
You know, it's funny because they always sat there and said that, well, this is Australia. Maybe in Australia we trust more. Maybe in Australia it's easier for us to be friends with the other gender that we are attracted to. But the matter of fact is, one thing that we're not going to ignore is that Elise was always going to react this way no matter what, because she comes from a place, a land where this type of behavior isn't necessarily something that's an everyday thing, okay? But the only thing that gives a leeway in this argument is one simple thing, is the fact that Josh was not upfront about it. So the friends want to sit there and say that we trust more, but how do you trust more if Josh wasn't honest with Elise in the first place? Which is why Elise really needs to open her eyes. She can't keep living in this world with her eyes always being literally shut. She needs to open them and recognize the reality around her. And the reality around her is that she's dealing with another man that ain't shiz. But that is her choice.
We trust more, I think.
Yeah,
We trust very deep. I realize their own insecurities, and hopefully they'll grow together and go through that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Insecurities, is that what Elise has? Probably yes. But at the same time, how are they supposed to actually heal and grow from these insecurities that she has before he's even existed if he's already started the relationship on a lie? You see, here's the thing. The friends think they're being smart. They think they're giving genuine advice. They think they're coming on the screen and be like, look, da-da-da-da-da. But what they don't understand is the layers of the situation. And the layer that they don't know is the fact that Josh lied. He withheld information. That's what changes everything. So like I said before, regardless of the fact that Elise is an insecure person anyway, him lying, it gives it every reason and every excuse to react the way she's reacting.
That's how trust is built.
Yeah.
Well, I think that she's helping you financially. I think that she has a financial hold on you that's making you feel some sort
No,
of
I don't. No, that's no.
See, this one's an interesting one because, you see, Elise believes this woman has a financial hold on him. She took offense to it. But Elise has got a point. But I don't believe the point that she has is the same point that I'm going to say here. I do believe that when she said it in the way that the woman took it. And that is in the way of saying that, well, she's keeping you around, or she's making sure that you stick around because you're financially because she's financially supporting you, is her way of controlling you and luring into her life because she wants you. That's what Elise believes. And which, listen, it could be the case. But let me give you a different perspective. See, here's the thing. Because Josh is in a position where he can live with someone rent-free, financially free, be able to just do what he wants, and knowing that this person fully has his back financially, the problem is that it makes him, or could make him, comfortable. It could also make him lazy. It could put him in a position where he's like, well, why am I going to now try harder to find a job? Or why am I going to try and get more money or whatever if I've got somewhere that I can stay for free? So really and truly, what the friend is doing isn't actually good for him. Unless, of course, she's there telling him every single day that, hey, you need to get a job ASAP, otherwise I'm going to kick you out. Do you see what I'm saying? But it sounds to me as if she's making life very, very nice and easy for him. Very luxurious for him. And because of that, that is where the financial thing has got a strong hold here. So the question is Josh in a position where he's comfortable staying with his friend purely because, well, he's enjoying the freedom of not having to pay anything? Or is it really the case of where the friend is, but here's the thing though, even if the friend was using financials to keep Josh around, it still doesn't change the fact that this man is sticking around because of the financial comfortability. So like I said, so really and truly, Elise has got her eyes opened up a little bit in this situation, but boy, the biggest problem here though isn't the friend, it's Josh. because he's the one that's put himself in this position anyway. And I don't mean putting himself in this position by lying or not telling the truth. I mean the fact that he's 39 years of age, allegedly, because a lot of people don't believe he is. The fact that he's 39 years of age and he has to live off someone else's back. Damn. As a man, I'm questioning my life. As a man, I'm embarrassing myself, because that's the standard that I have as a man for myself. So I probably judge others, to be honest with you. But now we're going to continue to the next one. So now we're going to talk about Jovon. Oh, but I do apologize. So, do you believe that these two women, Elise and the friend, are ever going to be reality ready to recognize that Josh is actually the problem here? Or do you think these women are going to continue moving mad and have a whole war over a guy that ain't shiz? Let me know in the comments. But now we're going to dive into the next one. Jovon and Annalyn.
I've sacrificed a lot of my life so you can be happy. And even when I do the things you want me to do, it's something else you want me to do.
I will tell you this now, ladies. If your man is ever in a position where he has to utter the words that he has just said right there, I promise you now, you need to fix up. Because to put a man in a position where he feels that no matter what he does, he cannot please you, it's telling you that you are most likely the problem. Now, let's dive in a little bit deeper to that. Some women may not see the fact that they're the problem because they may behave a certain type of way because of something that he has done in the past. And because of what he's done in the past, it's put him in a position where they'll never be satisfied because they're trying to overcompensate him, trying to make up for whatever it is. They just can't let it go. So here's the thing. If you're ever in a position where no matter what your partner does for you is never enough, and the reason why it's never enough is because they've done something in the past that's broke trust or whatever, leave them. You shouldn't be with them because you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time. It's just that simple. But this situation is different, you see. This situation based on not based on their relationship. This is actually based on Annalyn. So let's dive into that.
There's nothing else that I can do to make you, happy. Anna, you understand I'm not your father. I don't raise my voice at you, and I'm not this person that's trying to dominate you.
I know you're.
So this was the part that we really found out the truth. Annalyn's behavior is based on her father. So she's punishing Jovon, making him work harder, making him have to go above and beyond, all because of her father. She's lucky that he's actually stuck around, to be honest with you.
You're not me.
I'm hard on you, but I'm not aggressive with it. I know I've married a strong woman, but you're a little bit too strong. That can sometimes work against you rather than for you.
Let me break this down to you because no lies were told there. Sometimes being a strong person, whether you're a man or woman, means that sometimes you have a guard that is too strong, that does not allow you to allow someone that's good for you in your life. That doesn't sometimes allow you to allow someone who's good for you to come into your life and help you, to support you and do better. I will say this from a man's perspective. There are women that I've dated, and because they've had to be in their masculine energy for such a long time, because they've had to be strong for such a long time, when you try and come into their life and you try and make things easier for them by stepping into the masculine role that they shouldn't have to be in the first place, some of them find it hard to pull away from because they're either one, maybe afraid. Two, they're scared that maybe this is too good to be true, or they think that no, I've always done this myself. I don't want you to take away this power from me anymore. Because what happens if you take it away from me and then it makes me feel vulnerable? And now I'm vulnerable. What am I going to do with myself? And I understand. But here's the thing though, just because you have been in your masculine role for such a long time for whatever said reasons, if a good man comes into your life and he's like, hey, yo, babe, don't worry, I'm going to pay for that. Babe, don't worry, I'm going to go clean the dishes today. Babe, don't worry, I'm going to go get the bins today. Babe, don't worry, I'm going to go take our kid or your child to school today. I'll come pick them up, it's fine. When a man is ready to come into your life and he wants to take away responsibility from you that he doesn't necessarily believe that you should have, or he's just trying to help you within the responsibility you have by sometimes you do it and he does it, understand he's coming from a good place, or at least I would like to believe so most of the time. Okay, but there are some women, you see, if a man comes in and says, hey, don't worry, I'm going to pay for that, someone like, no, I've got this, I don't want you to think that I can't pay my own way. A man may come in and be like, listen, don't worry, okay, I'm going to cook for us. No, don't think that I can't cook for us. Do you see what I'm saying? Those are just little examples there that maybe somebody can relate to, but I hope you get what I'm saying. So he's not wrong in what he's saying. Sometimes you're too strong. If you got a good person in your life, don't be too strong. And this also goes for men, because some men have the same thing. Some men have the same issue. There are some men out there that they're used to cooking for themselves. They're used to ironing their own clothes. They're used to cleaning their own home. They're used to picking up their own kid. And then when a woman comes in that's good for them, they're like, no, I don't want you to, because they're also afraid of feeling like as if they're now being vulnerable, because they're allowing someone else to come into their life to take away the responsibilities that they've done for such a long time, that's put them in that masculine role that makes them feel strong. But trust me when I tell you, there is strength in also letting go. There is strength in also allowing someone else to take responsibility from you. If you think strength is in stopping someone and preventing someone from supporting you, trust me when I tell you, the only strength in that is you being single for the rest of your life or for a longer period of time. Strength comes in also realizing when it's time to just let someone else in. But then that's the golden question, isn't it? How do you know who's the right person? You don't know until you give it a chance. Simple as that. But let's dive in here.
Grew up with an abusive father. But from hearing about my mom's relationship with my dad, I learned from a very young age when to speak up. If I'm
Honestly, I love that for her. I truly do.
not comfortable, I should know how to express my feelings and set boundaries. But maybe there's a way for me to be strong and independent without lashing out.
There is. 1000% there is a way. See, this is the thing that I like about this episode here when it comes to Jovon and Annalyn. This is a couple that I can tell you for this episode specifically, both of them turned up reality ready. Both were ready to hold each other accountable, and both were ready to listen to each other. And most importantly, they were both looking to look for a solution together. This wasn't a conversation of where you're wrong, I'm right. No. It was a conversation of, babe, I need you to understand this. Please open your eyes. And this is what happened. This is what we call a healthy communication. Something that a lot of people in this world struggle to have nowadays. Because a lot of people just want chaos. But let's continue.
I haven't realized I was.
And I'll do my best to, I guess just not be so, sarcastic.
To basically just to not be himself.
I'm sorry because
So yes. It's a good thing that 90 Day was able to showcase something like this. But when you watch scenes like this, you have to be able to really deep everything that's happened here to help yourself learn and engage. But hopefully I've been here to help you with that today. But now we're going to dive in and move on to the next couple. Okay, and this one here being Forrest and Sheena.
Disability benefits is not an income. You cannot consider that income. Annual income for petitioners for K1 visa is more or less 26,500 US. If you will file today, for example, it will be denied.
See, my biggest issue with Forrest here is that when things don't work out for him, he blames one simple thing.
I'm in complete shock right now. I feel devastated to find out that my disability payments that I get monthly does not count towards the amount.
First and foremost, I don't know why he's shocked. For a man that has his technology around him all the time, you think he would have researched this? I think he did. I think he's just playing up for the camera. Otherwise, he really is stupid as hell.
Because of my autism, I am terrified about working full-time and starting a job. I've had jobs that ended awfully because I didn't understand or I messed up. But
I don't believe him. I think he's lying. I think that he's somebody that became comfortable with living on disabilities, and also his mom allowing him to do so, that he now uses autism as an excuse to why he cannot do said things. And even his own mother uses autism as excuses to why she has to control his life, why she always has to intervene in his life. There's a pattern here. There is a mother that has taught her son that because you are on the spectrum, this is your excuse. Rather than just because you're on the spectrum, it doesn't mean that you can't go out there and conquer the world the way you want to. Two different types of parenting there. You see the one that his mother has done? She's giving him the excuse right, rather than the nah. I don't give a damn what you got. We're going to make you into a strong-ass person. because there are plenty of people in this world on the spectrum who are doing some badass things. And there are plenty of people that I would assume have autism that's even stronger than his. I believe his one isn't even high functioning. I reckon there are some that's slightly high functioning and they're out there doing wonders. I would argue and say that Now's autism was high functioning than Forrest, but that could be subjective. Either way though, how long is he going to use autism as an excuse to why he won't work? You couldn't get a job because what? Oh, you got a job but you couldn't keep it because of what? Now, don't get me wrong, I do know that when it comes to people on the spectrum, fitting in society sometimes that can be something that can be very challenging, but does he give you signs of somebody that is struggling to fit in with society? This man went to the Philippines and met her family, and her family wasn't just a small group of people. There was a lot of people there. Okay, first and foremost, so he's definitely accustomed to being around a group of people. Two, he's on Facebook groups where he's communicating with people from his community all the time, which shows that he has a comfortability with communication with people, whether that's in person or online. Also, on top of that, he talks about, oh, I can't hold a job because sometimes I don't understand instructions. Hold on a minute. This is a man that was able to set up a whole system where his own fiance now could watch him from the Philippines whilst he was there in the United States. He had cameras fitted in every single room. He understood how to fit that in, didn't he? Trust me, this is a man that has the ability to understand many things. We've also experienced people like Harold. Harold is somebody from Match Me Abroad. That's another man on the spectrum, which, to be fair, I would argue is maybe even slightly more severe than he is. And he's somebody that's able to get up, go on a plane, just like Forrest, be able to go out there and navigate and try and find someone to date, just like Forrest. The difference is, he does it all by himself. He doesn't need his mum holding his hand. Same as Niles. We've seen the same thing from Cleo. Cleo, the one from the UK that's transgender, right? We've seen her too when she went for a relationship. So the fact that he wants to sit there and actually spit on every other person that is on the spectrum to why you can't keep a job? Nah, don't lie to us. But you can continue lying to yourself. But I blame his mum, because his mum has made him comfortable with using being on the spectrum as an excuse. And trust me when I tell you, folks, I don't say this out of common sense. I say this because the fact is, I did my own course on autism. Because I used to work with kids on autism, as well as also teenage kids. Never necessarily worked with adults, but I've always worked with the 18 and below. Either way though, don't let someone use a diagnosis as an excuse. That's just the point I'm making.
Yeah. How long is enough to have a stable form of income, before the K1's actually granted?
So, you need probably a year, and you will need another a year, at least, to have the petition approved and bring your fiancé.
It's 2 years right there. And that's just an estimation.
To the US.
I know that you wanted to go to the US, my love. But why do we have to live in your country? That's my good question. It's easier for...
I will answer that question easy for her. The reason why he wants to live in this country is because, one, he gets benefits, and two, he's around his mum that will always enable his behavior.
You to stay here, you got a Filipino visa, and I'm a professional here. Could take good care of you. And I'll try to help you to find a job as well.
And that's another reason, because he doesn't want to work. That's why he doesn't want to live in the Philippines. But you know what though, Sheena, this is a woman that has her own versions of things that I would consider movie and mad, okay? Obviously, given the fact that she can't necessarily always be truthful, she always has to, tell a lie here, there, and everywhere. I will say though, away from that though, she's a good woman. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. There were so many men who would have watched that scene, single men, or maybe even men who are in relationships, who would have watched that scene where she said, listen, you come here and I will take care of you. The amount of men that would have been like, whoa, okay, where's my passport real quick? Where is it? Oh, it needs to be renewed? I will send it off right now. Please hurry up and give me my new one. I need to get myself over there so I can find myself a Sheena. She wants to look after me? What? And let's be real, how many men out there are passport bros? How many men out there are looking for a woman who can look after them because they can't handle a woman from their own freaking location? Because those women are too strong, but hey, that's a whole other conversation, right? Either way though, it's crazy because she's literally laying out for him that we can have a good life here. But I promise you now, she lost him on Definitely when she mentioned that I can help you get work here. Definitely lost him on that one. But she lost him before that too. But let's continue.
I think that's the best option for us.
I have my worries about that though. With my autism, it makes things hard. And I don't know if I can leave my family.
Happen to come back to this country, we're not even sure that he would ever come back. So I will be the one who's stranded and I will be hurt as well.
To be honest with you, she needs to recognize in this moment in time that she's never going to be more important than his mother.
I don't want to give up my mom.
Ladies, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I will say this confidently, but no woman ever wants to hear a man say that I can never give up my mum over you. Now, here's the thing. Women are right to feel that way. And to be honest with you, there's a question that's always asked sometimes. And I do apologize in advance if this is going to be a trigger warning. But there's a question that is always asked sometimes, and the question is, if I'm about to give birth to our child, and you had to choose between my life and our child's life, who would you pick? I promise you now, 99.9% of men in the world will pick his wife, he pick his woman over the child. Why? Because you see, for us men, we have bonded with the wife, we have fell in love with the wife, and we've also understand how hard it could be to find another woman to love exactly the same. And if we end up choosing the child over the wife, the problem is that sometimes we may look at our child as a reminder as to the woman that we lost. So sometimes kids can then be raised in a very resentful place. But of course, for women on the other hand, 99.9 times of the time, they're going to say, don't choose me, choose our child. Why? Well, because the woman is the one that has carried the child, so the woman's had a chance to obviously bond with the child while the child has been inside of her womb. So it makes sense to why they want their child saved rather than their life. And this isn't a question where there is a right or wrong. This is a question of just perspective, okay? Now, a woman is not wrong to say to you, no, you must pick the child over me. But the man is also not wrong to say that I will pick you over the child, because you see, for a man, his woman is his treasure, his woman is everything. There was another question that I came across the other day where a son asked his father, who do you care for the most? Now, bear in mind, this is a boy that is now already grown. He's in his teenage years. So therefore, the father's had a chance to obviously bond with his son and grow with his son. Now, bear in mind, when a baby is not born yet, a father has not had a chance to actually grow and bond with the child just yet. You see what I'm saying? The differences between the men and women when it comes to pregnancy, right? But let me get to the point I'm making it. So with the child himself in particular, who is in his teenage years, and he asks his father stuff, who do you care for, me or mother? The father simply said, I care more for your mother because she's my wife. She's the person that I married. She's my rock. She's the person that's going to be for me for the rest of my life. The son said, but I don't understand though, because I'm your son. Shouldn't you care for me more? The father simply said to him, listen, when it comes to who I care for more, I will always care for your mother more. But if I was ever in a position where I had to pick someone to choose, to save between you and your mother, I would pick you, because obviously you're my son. I've raised you, and obviously you've got your whole life ahead of you. The difference between the two is that the father's had a chance to bond with the child. Do you see what I'm saying? And also the child is now grown and he's obviously raised him. So there's that perspective of love and care in that way that is unconditional. Okay, so understand something here. The point that I'm making, like I said, there is no right or wrong answer to it. But the point that I'm making is that I would argue and say that 99.9 times at the time, if a woman is in a position where her partner says to her that I care more for my mother than I do for you, that is going to hurt, because no one wants to hear that. Women generally want to hear that they are good enough to now be your everything, to not necessarily be the replacement for your mother, but just to say that I look after you and I make you feel safe just as much as your mother has. And it's the same thing vice versa with fathers. But do what you will with that information, my lovely people. Do what you will. Now we're going to move on to the next one itself. Now this one is going to be about Rick. So the question does ask here though, is Sheena ever going to be reality ready to recognize that maybe, just maybe, Forrest is not the man for her? Because he'll never give up his mum. Let me know. But now we're going to move on to Rick. Rick and Trish. Oh my God.
I'm sorry for raising my voice to you. It's just I was so frustrated, hearing about your ex-boyfriend constantly.
He raised his voice because he was frustrated by hearing about your ex-boyfriend. This is the same man that booked a flight to Colombia to sleep with his ex-girlfriend. because he thought that you was doing something with your ex-boyfriend. Trish is one of those other ones that walks around very blind. And then Trish has the audacity to respond like this.
Okay, I promise I'm not gonna talk about my ex. We are going to see my family and I don't want to go there in a bad mood.
So you want to go see your family knowing that you've just disrespected yourself by forgiving this man. Okay.
I want them to accept you. Like, they want babies.
Trisha and I have been talking about whether or not we're going to have kids, and I'm just not ready to make that decision yet.
Wow.
So he's not ready to make the decision regarding her kids or him wanting kids with her, but he's in a position where he is more than ready and happy to sleep with her, also more than happy to fly to see her, and also most importantly more than happy to see her family. Right. This all makes sense. Why? Because he was also more than ready to book a flight to Colombia to sleep with his ex. So his actions do match up disgustingly.
Respect, and as a Malagasy, we get married and have a child.
I understand that. And now that I see how important this is, it's going to be the forefront of my mind. And
now it's going to be the forefront of your mind? Diabolical.
When are you going to decide it?
Before, I come to your father and ask for your hand in marriage. My feelings have grown so much for Trish that I couldn't picture a life without her at this point.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
But I really don't want to have more kids.
I'm going to keep this one very simple regarding Rick. Is Rick ever going to be reality ready to recognize that he's just a piece of trash? Please do let me know in the comment section. Let's move on to the next one. I'm not even going to waste my time with that one. And this one here is Lisa and Daniel.
You don't know how hard it was to...
I have a lot of secrets.
I have no more secrets. Just listen, please. I'm trying to tell you who I am. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You told me
I'm trying to tell you who I am, but you've already told him who you are. You're somebody that lies, that keeps secrets. What else is there to tell?
a series of relationship. I didn't know it's your fellow women. Samson, you have been lying to me.
I'm sorry.
You are evil.
You are evil. But let's get into why he believes that she's evil. Does he believe that she's evil because she's a lesbian or was a lesbian or whatever? Or does he think that she's evil because she's somebody that lies all the time?
I'm a good person.
What makes you a good person? Sleeping with your fellow women?
That doesn't make me evil. I'm in love with you, Daniel. That's why I'm coming clean to you. I could have kept this a secret forever and not told you.
You love him and that's why you're coming clean to him. That raises a very interesting conversation here. Do we only tell the truth to somebody that we want to be with only once we now know that we love them? What? That would simply tell us that there's never been a foundation of truth within their relationship. That would simply tell us that their whole relationship this whole time has been based on nothing but secrets. So her to say that, the logic behind it is nuts. Sometimes people just aren't aware of what's coming out of their mouth. And that's just Lisa.
You are a liar.
I'm just a person who has been lost.
Lisa is full of lies.
So she knows that she loves him, but yet she's been lost. Okay.
Lies. I don't think her lies is over because she keep on cooking new ones every day.
Why did you call her evil?
Because she's evil. Keeping all these secrets.
I like the fact that he made that clear. She's evil because she's always keeping secrets. And that's something that is very crucial to be said, crucial to be identified. Because who the hell wants to be with somebody that's always telling lies, that's got so many secrets? I don't know if evil is too much of a strong word, but I don't disagree with him. Only evil people keep secrets. Only people with bad intentions tell lies.
I love Lisa. I want to forgive her, but after what she did, I don't trust her anymore. I don't know if I can continue this relationship.
A man with a lot of self-worth would know straight off the bat that if that relationship is over. There is no questioning yourself whether or not that relationship can be continued. You would know that this is over. But of course, a man that has an agenda that is probably not based on love would obviously still stick around. Now, of course, there is the assumption that this man is a scammer as well as also Elise being a scammer. But I will say this though, take away the scammer situation. The only type of man that will stick around to be with someone like Lisa after all the lies is a man that does not understand his own self-worth. This is a man that is not masculine. This is a man that is just a fool. But in this situation, by the end of the season, we have to figure out if Daniel only cares about scamming her or if he truly is a fool, given that he does stay with her. Let's continue.
Because this is between me and you. Why does he need to know anything?
Same-sex is a disgrace to any family that involved in it.
But it's not against American tradition.
But you're in my country. You're in my tribe. This is something that you and I cannot settle.
Whoo, boy. I do love the conversation of, but you're in my country though. This is my tribe. I do love that conversation when people in it are quite hypocritical. I'm just curious, if Daniel was to be in the United States, would he then be okay with same-sex relationships? Or would he still say, no, this is not right, not where I come from? So really and true, when people say this conversation about, well, it's not where I'm from, to be honest with you, there's sometimes that line makes sense and there's sometimes that line just makes you look stupid.
That his uncle will never forgive me and never accept me, and this relationship will be over.
This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Because of how strongly he has spoken about same-sex relationships, there's only one answer that has to come out of this, and that is that their relationship goes no further than this. It's the only way. But if their relationship continues after this, it tells us one simple thing. That this is nothing but a scam. But I guess that's something that we'll find out within the next episode. Please do let me know your thoughts down below. So yeah, we'll find it next time. But anyway, let me know which couple or which person that you thought in this episode was reality ready and which one that you thought was simply moving mad. Okay? And also hype the video on your way out. Like the video, subscribe, comment, and have a good day too.